Hello, artists. This is Mrs. B. Welcome to Umaarteng Penmanship. Today, I will teach you pro tips in doing wet on wet technique, plus painting a stormy sky like this. First, in this video, I used Baohong Academy cold press watercolor paper, which is 300 GSM and 100% cotton. It's all glued on all sides. So if you're struggling in getting your paper from warping and creating unnecessary curves, you can get a block like this instead of using loose sheets like these are from a pad. However, watercolor blocks are more expensive than sheets and pads. Next, use a spray bottle. It helped me a lot with my paintings to spread the water evenly. Before brushing the water on all areas, it made wet on wet easy for me with the use of spray bottle. Also, let the paper absorb the water well by wetting your paper again. This is the first layer of my water. Tip: you can tilt your paper so you can see if the paper is shiny or if there are any areas that you need to brush with water. Spread the water well on all areas where you will put the paint. Make sure that it is wet and shiny but not too much that creates puddles of water. Pro tip: wet your paints first and let them sit for a minute or a few seconds before you mix your colors. This way, you can maximize the colors you have and the colors are vibrant. I use Winsor Newton neutral tint and Mungyo indigo for the stormy sky. These are professional paints that are dry in my palette and pan. If you prefer using paints directly from the tube, you can skip this part. Once your paper is damp, it's time to wet your paper for the second time. This way, you'll let your paper absorb the water to the fibers below, then just wetting the top portion of your paper. For more tutorials like this, please consider subscribing to my channel and tap the notification bell so that you will be updated on my weekly video. Again, tilt your paper to see if it's shiny and let the excess water to go down to the bottom part. You can use a paper towel, a tissue, or a cloth and put it on the side and absorb the excess water to avoid puddles on your paper. I held my brush near the end or at the end of the handle. My paintbrush looks like lying down on the paper. I didn't hold my brush the same way I hold my pen. It is lying down and I will create slanting brush strokes with indigo and neutral tint. You can leave some white spaces and tilt your pen to let the water and paint go down that create an illusion of rain. As I go down, I made the colors lighter but I added more pigment at the top. This is a real-time painting, so my instructions are also real-time to give you pro tips in doing wet on wet techniques. As you keep on painting, your paper will start to dry. Instead of adding the same value of paint, I get the diluted paint from the palette. Your brush should have more paint than water, and avoid adding water or else your paper will create some puddles. The consistency of my paint is from cream to butter, which means that there's more paint than water. It is a thick consistency and less amount of water. The paint should not be moving on your palette as well. If your brush is watery, you can tap your brush to a cloth or paper towel to remove the excess. I continued building up the colors with less water and more paint as the paper gets damp as it's slowly drying. You can add more paint because when the paint is dry, the colors are lighter than when it's wet. My paper is getting dry, so keep on adding more colors than water. You can also tilt your paper a bit to let the water flow. That will create an illusion of rain at the same time to remove the excess water on your paper. I'm satisfied with the intensity of my colors. I will get back to it once it's dry. My painting is now dry and I'm excited to take off the sheet out of the block. You can use a cutter or buy a leaf blade. I use a small thin ruler bookmark. There's a small area that is not glued and that's where you can start removing the paper slowly and go around on all sides. Then you can remove the excess glue on the sides. Remember to put your signature on the painting. I also put the date when I painted it to help myself remember when I created it. I hope you find this video and my pro tips helpful. For more tutorials like this, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you will be updated when I upload a new video.